Yo,
Hey, yo,
listen.
listen.
Welcome to another glorious, vainglorious episode of Gang Green, the Broken
Just
Pistol Company, pro wrestling podcast infused
with hip hop.
with hip hop.
Just let your soul glow.
I'm
Just let
Wood.
it shine through.
That Sahab over there is Mr. Burgundy. You know what it is.
Hello to you all out there in internet land. You stay classy.
This is the season for unpacking presents and joyous times as we try to predict in this wonderful world of this sport that we so know and love, of what's going to happen, who's going to get what, who's going up against who's going to land where, and out of nowhere the shoe drops.
Who had this on their bingo card?
And then the other shoe drops.
Ooh-wee.
We're
Y'all
we're
gonna learn.
we're walking into the Royal Rumble, and first off, today is Friday, February the 2nd, year of our Lord.
Yeah, my lord.
I said year of our Lord.
Yeah, my lord.
20 and 20, 4 for 4.
Would you like fries with that, sir?
Not today. I need to cut on carbs.
Dipping sauce for your nuggets? Pause.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Sir. Yeah.
Honey mustard with the little bits of mustard, you say?
The bits, the little bits of mustard, but not today. I need hot sauce for today. I need ghost pepper sauce, no ranch. Matter of fact, let's get active here. Let's get cultured. Ghost pepper blue cheese. Let the church say,
Hey, man.
Amen.
Boy putting hot honey on his Detroit style pizza, and all of a sudden he out here acting unusual.
You better understand. Let's talk about that too. I'm type pissed that we don't have a minked out Super Bowl. That's all I wanted.
Explain to the people what you mean by a minked
That's
out.
all I wanted. Kansas City, great job. Lamar Jackson, you had one.
One job.
Jared Goff.
No. Don't you speak Jared Goff's name.
Great.
Campbell is the name you
great.
need.
No. Great job. Dan Campbell, fire yourself.
Now I'm all for giving him his lump of coal for certain decisions he made, but I'll be honest with you, that man built a culture in Detroit that Detroit ain't had since Barry had his uniform on.
This is bigger than Barry. Barry was a hope.
Nothing is bigger than Barry in Detroit. But
you're
go
right.
ahead.
You know what? You're right.
Let's not be disrespectful.
We can only imagine what would have happened. Can you imagine the amount of records that would have come out of Detroit from luminaries? The amount of posse cuts we would have gotten from people that probably ain't messing with each other.
T Grizzly featuring Royce the 5'9", produced by Eminem.
Produced by Black Milk with a guest appearance by Apollo Brown. Like let's bring them all together.
Man, Big Sean and Sada Baby.
Detroit City and Clear Soul Forces.
Oh man, Mr. Porter and Trick.
I was actually thinking Dej Loaf and Trick.
I mean, somebody got to do the hook.
put her on the hook, because I thought Mr. Porter was gonna handle that part too, because he's singing too. But
Mr. Porter is producing.
We can have all three of those.
Everybody contributes. It's just one. Look, they would do a whole mixtape like the Super Bowl Shuffle from '85, like the Chicago Bears did their song and video. It would be that many Detroit artists just making a "We Are the World" style record.
Can I get a acapella freestyle, or not even a freestyle? It's just acapella verse from Bizarre and Bodie James.
Okay, I think I can meet your. Yeah, we can meet your demands.
And we're gonna host this album with Danny Brown.
with guest skits from Jalen Rose.
yes, absolutely. That unfortunately, pipe dream ain't
Yeah.
happening. So all we had to do was get Baltimore, Detroit.
I know Dallas and Detroit been kind of beefing just a little bit just because of the last game we all had, and we do have a history that involves the referees and just total incompetence across the board. However, I know this is still an open wound, but that might have been the most epic choke job in NFL playoff history.
I would
call it what you want.
I would venture to side with you.
I just say,
and you know, it started
17.
It didn't start with the questionable calls. It started with a string of bad luck.
I mean, here's the thing. This is
makes an appearance early.
This is NFL football in 2024 and 2023. Officiating is terrible. It's going to be terrible in every game. It's going to be terrible in the Super Bowl. I want to prepare you for it. There are going to be several no calls, several calls missed. There's going to be some shaky stuff going on, whether it's on purpose or on accident. Control what you can control. You controlled a 17-point lead.
Until you didn't anymore.
Until you didn't. That ain't got nothing to do with nothing other than you up 17 at the half, my boy.
And your AFC champions, Kansas City Chiefs, the NFC champions, the San Francisco 49ers.
My God.
And the big game is going to be in Vegas at Allegiant, or whatever that place is called in Vegas, whatever the stadium is. Allegiant Field, Allegiant, whatever. Anyway.
Project Pat showed up and told you one thing: Mr. Don't Play. It's Project Pat. Man, what you gonna do?
So back on to the shoe dropping.
Yeah.
As we embark upon the Royal Rumble, we get rumblings of Vince McMahon doing Vince things again, only to find out it's not surprising what it was. It was the amount of the content that came out and the fact that he blew this cover off by simply, allegedly, according to the documents that were publicly posted and filed with the attorneys in the courts, that he simply missed payments, which nullified the NDA, on top of violating Speak Out's Act.
That's just a
Speaks Out Act. So not to put any amount of not to discredit anything that was alleged,
right?
Because this is an ultimate smoke meets fire situation,
right?
Three key players, two named, one implicated, but it's a draw your own conclusion. It's like find the missing piece of the puzzle. The only thing. Go ahead.
Part of me wonders, because of what we know about the NDA and the fact that it's not an enforceable document. That doesn't sound like Jerry McDevitt. That doesn't sound like McDevitt work.
We talked about Mr. McDevitt, and I believe he was still there, but on the way out when this started. He was definitely gone by the time this was filed, which was a year ago yesterday, when she was terminated, and this person being Janelle Grant, the accuser in this civil suit towards Vince McMahon and WWE, also including one Johnny Laurinaitis, aka Johnny Ace.
I'm saying that mainly because, like, what crack staff of lawyers would assemble a document to essentially lock down and protect an individual of this stature, but the entire document is completely unenforceable? Like that's not even like record labels don't even do that. Like record labels are known for some of the most ridiculously convoluted contracts known to man.
Firm standing though.
Firm standing. They can enforce everything in it, even though regardless of what all the other jargon goes through, how many different hoops it jumps through, like it's a multiverse of effery. If you've ever had to read one, like it is literally a multiverse, and no matter what position you jump into it from, once you sign it, it's ironclad.
I mean, and they can get simple, but the simpler they are, the less you're protected.
That part.
And apparently, this one was pretty simple, but again, because of certain terms and certain aspects of
Certain
the allegations, it puts people in precarious situations.
I'm just saying that's a lot of money and a lot of status to be putting in the hands of somebody who can't write the document properly.
I'll say this. We will not go into any of this in detail.
Nope.
I'm not reading this. It's available online. Do your Googles. It's there for you.
That term is never more appropriate than right now.
Do your Googles. We could do an entire show on this. This show ain't that. We've done entire shows that are side shows that have been much better than what we had here. In fact, we had a tournament planned for this week before this came out.
Hey, look.
Card subject to change.
Forever. Card subject to change. That's the title of the show. Card subject to change.
Look at me over here active.
Circle gets the square. Hit the bell for yourself. Man, listen. Even this situation brought about a really, really innovative idea on our part, but it's touchy.
It's murky.
It's super murky. So we got to figure out how to do it and make it entertaining versus making it, a hour-and-a-half documentary on debauchery.
Say hello to the bad guy.
Look, we've taken our own initiatives to make sure that.
This is no, I'm saying this is the mixtape is what it should be coming out, or a tournament.
You know what I'm saying? Like we've taken precautions and initiatives to make sure that this is a program that can be digested by all wrestling fans, regardless, from 9 to 90.
We've grown over the years.
Very much so, because
we're like the Benjamin Buttons of wrestling podcasts right now. We still got the hip hop culture influence. We still talk our talk. We talk TV. We talk sports. We talk this pro wrestling.
We just cleaned up our act a little bit.
Yeah, we do it. We do it in a way that's non-offensive, non-abrasive, but at the same time, we let loose and let you kind of get an inside scoop on who we are as people in real life, because this is what you get.
Because for the pencil pushers who've been here since the beginning, you do know we went through a phase that resembled like early episodes of South Park.
But man, let me tell you something. The level of nonsense in this court document, with us being fathers of girls,
bruh.
There are things that we need to say on both sides that you will never hear out of our mouths. We'll talk about it. It's therapy. We got to talk to your people, checking on your people. Ask them how they doing.
Factual.
If you feel the need to get some things off your chest and you want to be nondescript about it, let your sahab know that this is what this is. Me and Suave had this conversation earlier.
We did.
So we don't breach it here.
Right. And we do know that there are a lot of people who have really strong emotions about anything that operates within the scope of where this particular shoe comes from. So in an effort to be sensitive to that, as well as, how we've cleaned up our act and made this a platform that, for the most part, everybody can listen to out loud. You don't have to have headphones or earbuds.
You can listen to this at
play
work
this,
with your speakers on.
you know what I'm saying? You can play this in the car. Maybe not everybody in the car is a wrestling fan or wants to go that deep into the weeds with it,
But you could.
but you could if you wanted to.
We here for you.
Henceforth, we just not going in. We not getting into the water. You know, there's a shark in there. Stay out of there. That's just it. It's there to read if you need it. And you know,
2 names are there. One name isn't. The one name that isn't, you can draw your own conclusion who it could be or who it's not.
We're not doing anybody's detective work. I'm not combing through any clues. This is not an episode of Scooby-Doo. I don't drive a mystery machine.
What did happen though
was a villain got unmasked,
and he would have got away with it. It wasn't for the meddling kid.
It wasn't for the meddling kids and that damn dog.
And that dog. Now,
throw him under the jail, against the wall, drag him through the river. Shout out to UNLV. Whatever you feel like you want to do to make yourself feel better, have at it, because you're not going to get any defense about it out of us either.
Let's digest a couple of things here. In all of this,
it's over on 3. 1, 2, 3. It's over.
Through all of this, we have yet to see a bag dropped or fumbled because of allegations. Until last week, Slim Jim said,
"We out,"
and I'm paraphrasing. Fix this somehow, or we out. But for now,
no. They didn't even wait. They didn't even wait to say fix it. They said
we out.
We out. We pulling funding the night before. And then they had to get him up out the paint. And once they got him out the paint, we back in.
Conversations happen. A very disingenuous resignation from all things WWE and TKO board relations from Vince McMahon happened. And once that happened on Royal Rumble Saturday, Slim Jim, they weren't sponsoring the entire PLE at this point. They were only sponsoring the championship match for the WWE Grand Championship. This is your daily acknowledgement. Tribal Chief head of the table, reigning, defending, and still.
One more for the good guys.
I mean, it's what happens. Your Tribal Chief head of the table is still there.
You'll be all right. You tough, right?
Hey. And so is Roman Reigns.
You feel me? You be all right. You tough. You got it. Don't even sweat it.
Yeah. So
chin up, stiff upper lip.
Yeah. So that happened. What else? What else did we get at the Rumble match wise? We got KO and that. What we got out of KO and Logan Paul
was classic Southern wrestling. As far as the finish, not the moves.
Some people call that the dusty finish.
Well, see, the dusty finish.
There's levels to the dusty finish, but go ahead and give them the actual dusty finish, and I'll explain my comparison.
So, I guess if Vin's gonna be the king of the NDA, the prince of the NDA, one Mr. Irvine, once upon a time on Monday Night Raw, won the World Heavyweight Championship from Triple H. Only soon thereafter to have to give the title back due to a referee's decision. Essentially, the dusty finish is a bait and switch. You get the pop of the title change, but due to something, whether it be outside interference, a knocked out referee, a second referee,
international object,
any of those things, because this is professional wrestling, we can make it up as we go along. But as a result of the use of any of those objects or the implementation of any of those stipulations, the ownership of the title reverts back to the original champion. So you get the pop and the celebration of the hero, thwarting evil, but then you also get the backlash of having that all taken away And then hopefully the idea is to garner more sympathy for the babyface to continue the chase. When used sparingly, this can be quite beneficial.
It's heat on your jerk sauce.
Scotch bonnet.
When used sparingly.
When used sparingly, nice little kick. You get a little bit of extra flavor. Okay, cool. I'll
And the
come back
people
and get
want
this again.
more.
Right. I'll come back and order this again.
This wasn't quite the finish did not happen.
Nah.
What happened was it was a 2 count, and Kevin had the exposed hand with brass knuckles on it. Referee saw it, stopped counting, disqualified Kevin Owens and Logan Paul.
This is very mid-south, very mid-south, very world-class championship wrestling. Very
Georgia championship, Memphis, anything
very NWA,
south of Missouri, just over as far west as Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, this
is very territory. It's very southern culture wrestling. This is USWA.
Boy. That's why Memphis.
Say, do you know how many times Eric Embry got caught with the knucks on his hand after he done knocked out somebody from Skandar Akbar's clique?
Didn't they ban the pile driver in Texas in USWA?
I'm sure they did at some point.
But they didn't in Memphis, and yes, it was Jerry Lawler's finisher.
Say, you know, it's a whole bunch of stuff ain't banned in Memphis because of Jerry Lawler.
Fireballs.
Let's keep going. Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Anyway.
Next exit driver.
The first match of the night, the Women's Royal Rumble match. Wasn't expecting this match to be as good as it was. I had questions prior to last episode 225. Go back in the archives. Do you Google search for that one?
Available on YouTube and all places where podcasts are served.
We played a fun game. You know who ain't gonna win, and we talk about who ain't gonna win. I wasn't sure if I wasn't sure if we were gonna even get to 30 women. Not only did we get 30 women,
I told you.
We got Jordan Grace, TNA Knockouts World Champion.
Hit the applause for her and for that, because she did herself good. So she did herself proud, did herself great justice.
TNA Knockouts World Champion with a showing of a lifetime for someone who doesn't work in that company. This is not the first time it's been done. It's the first time it's been done to this degree.
Right.
She actually got action. Mickie James is the other one, but Mickie James is also a WWE stalwart. I mean, if she's not a Hall of Famer, she's going to be. Like, we can just call it what it is.
Right. So it's like they redrew district lines and she just ended up at a different school, but she know everybody over here.
And she was announced as TNA champion. She came wearing TNA colors.
Right.
Her accolades were run down by Michael Cole, and Corey Graves went so far as to do the honors to say that that's who Naomi lost the title to.
Solid.
Cross promotion at its finest. Moreover, I even watched TNA last night to see what would happen. They showed clips of Jordan Grace's trip to Orlando backstage, even action in the ring, and Michael Cole and Corey Graves' call on TNA on Access TV. What?
If you gonna do it right.
Call it stupid, call it silly, all you want to. That's Forbidden Door material right there. I like it.
As once said by an executive, like, we don't deal with the cliche terms for whatever door it is. That's stupid and silly. Even in a press conference with all this other stuff going on, he finds time to make sure that I thump you on your forehead. That's it's a hilarious level of pity.
Remember who started this?
Who started it? Then we gonna finish it.
Jay Cargill shows up.
Told you.
We either have a match or we have a new tag team for me.
I want people to stop sharing any meme that has that on it. I'm sick. Look, there's plenty of time for them to be the mega powers.
I love it when I troll the best out of you.
Look,
just wait. Don't worry. Don't. Hey, just wait. I got a good one for you later on. Just wait.
Take it from your Sahab, who on 225 told you we were getting Jade Cargill at the Royal Rumble. Matter of fact, I don't know how many episodes even before that I said, if you don't see her at Survivor Series, you will not see her until the Royal Rumble.
You can go back 7, 8 episodes for that one.
Lo and behold, number 28, Jade Cargill. And what else did I say last week? I said at some point, we're going to start the quest to get this money and get this money with Bianca Belair.
They are the Spider-Man meme of the WWE right now. Because we both said this 2 years ago that they are superheroes.
They are literally walking superheroes. So for that reason, I'm glad you said that. For those who read comic books and know how the game goes with that, they shouldn't start off as the best of friends, because that is cliche professional wrestling. You would have they'd end up being on the same page, being a tag team. It's like, who gonna fade them two? They end up becoming tag champions, and then by some fluke, they end up losing the tag titles, and then one turns on the other. And
what Shayna and Nia Jax thought they were, that's what Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are in real life.
You see, and I want to do it a little differently. I want them to start off as, I want it to be professional courtesy type animosity, where it's like, I know you got skills, but I'm who I am. Well, I know you got skills, but I'm who I am.
It's so, I hate to draw this comparison, but it works. What happened with Cody and CM Punk the Monday before Mania? That interaction, how it was like, we aren't friends, we cool, but me and your dad, that's my guy. We were friends. And just understand that, this is business. We gonna cross paths and we gonna butt heads. And by the end of the promo, they were nose to nose. We knew what it was. Cinema.
Yeah, absolutely. It's 100% cinema. With these two, I'm looking at it from the perspective of, let's start off with, I guess, not sibling rivalry, but just a healthy competitive nature between the two.
I've been here for a while. You just watch me.
Right.
Don't worry about what I do, old woman. My first match had Shaq in it.
I go here now, basically. I want that I go here now energy. I respect you. I love everything you've ever done, but I go here now. Work your way into your first match, because we're not stopping at one match. You get your first match off basically as a display of how athletic the both of them are. Just get about 10, 12 minutes of pure athleticism and strength spots. Get that one out the way. You can always come back to it around SummerSlam, because we don't even know if they're on the same brand yet. To where eventually they've gone from competitive to contentious to almost outright blood feud. And
it could drag out. It could easily drag out.
Easily. And then when they both have a common enemy, then they unite.
You know who that common enemy is or will be?
Who that is?
A year from now, Chick Flair. Because even at 14 World Heavyweight Championships, one more as a dream match is a notch on the belt, even if a belt ain't on the line. So you can break the glass to get her into Mania and give her the spotlight if you want to. Triple threat, one-on-one, Jade Cargill, Chick Flair, healthy Chick Flair next March or April 2025.
I'll take it a step further. If you want to have a common enemy for them, you've got 3 of the 4 horsewomen under contract already. Go get the 4th. Make some compelling television.
I was certain
with these 4 women.
Certain that with Naomi's hair on her comeback, I was certain that Sasha Banks was going to be there. I was wrong. Boy, was I mistaken.
All I'm saying is we can get to this money if you just let me walk this dog. So now, okay, you got 4. You just named the 3rd, and then you can pick whoever else you want.
Bailey's obviously about to get a belt.
So okay,
you can have fun. You can have fun playing hot potato with her if you wanted to.
Because you're playing,
but you could.
You're planning a year or so out. So let's say, let's call it Survivor Series. You need a War Games match. So if we've united the 4 horsewomen, they back around kicking up dust, acting a fool.
Boy.
Then on the other side, Bianca, Jade, not Trinity because she's back in the fold.
Sidebar, they got a match in the can that they're showing next week on TNA.
Good for them. They're supposed to. Mutually beneficial.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then we'll let the pencil pushers pick the 4th. Pick whoever you want.
Now's a good time. Who's going to be the 4th on either side? Show a Broken Pencil BC.
We got 4 on one side. We need the 4th on the other side.
Show at brokenpencilbc.com, brokenpencilbc@gmail.com. Matter of fact, you see Suave's little logo right there.
Right there.
Well, it's right there too.
I mean, I like the one up. I like the one up here though. It's a lot more visible.
There, right there. So yeah, show brokenpencilbc.com, brokenpencilbc@gmail.com. That's at brokenpencilbc on everything. At brokenpencilbc on what?
Everything.
Now, any other points of conversation regarding the Women's Royal Rumble?
Not really. I mean, if anything is to be believed from the formats that got leaked, what now, a month and a half ago, that showed who was going to win the Royal Rumble. I mean, you kind of saw this coming.
You know what's crazy was I didn't pay that any attention. I saw so many. Of course, most of them were jokes, but that the one that you're talking about, the one that was floating around, I didn't even pay attention to it.
The one that looked a little more professional.
And I didn't pay attention to it. But I tell you what, I picked Bailey for all the reasons that nobody else did. It's the most surprising, but also the most deserving for someone who's that far at the top of the card. Nobody else, other than the people that we saw sitting on that floor, deserved to win the Rumble, especially not Becky Lynch. Like, you can hang that up.
I would have taken Becky Lynch as a believable winner, but because she's done it already, she doesn't need it to get to the spot that we're trying to get to. Yep. I feel like as much potential as Jade Cargill has, I think that would have been too soon.
Yep.
Because like that's a heavy bag of pressure to put on somebody to where essentially your debut match is a WrestleMania main event.
Oh, especially with what we had to talk about with the men's Royal Rumble. Big bag to carry.
You see what I'm saying? Huge situation. Not saying that she couldn't live up to the hype, but like, where do you go from there? It's just like
you've
like
already
I was talking about.
You have the expectation of the world already being given to you because of where you come from, how you've been touted, and you haven't even been seen on TV yet in that capacity.
You got half the world wanting you to succeed so they can rub it into other people's face. You got the other half wanting you to fail so they can rub it in someone else's face.
And then watch you go back because you did. Like,
so we're not cut from that ilk whatsoever, but it's the same thing as making Bianca and Jade tag champs next week. It's like, look, where do you
First
go from
match
there?
in. Yeah, we
Yeah,
got
like
new champs on SmackDown last Friday. They come in tonight, have a conversation, make a match. Nick Aldis says, "Okay, it's cool," and then all of a sudden now we got new tag champs a week later. Nah, we don't need 3 champions in 2 weeks.
we finna hot shot the tag titles on them just because. Like, chill, relax.
Let it simmer.
The contract is not about to expire. That's all I'm saying.
Then we have the men's Royal Rumble match.
Yeah,
Ending the night. And coming out of that, no surprises other than Andrade returning, which was cool to see. Then we also got to see backstage him getting oiled up by his wife, which tons of rumors floating around about them. That
people usually have to pay a fee for that.
Yeah, but that got put to bed, and I can appreciate that. They seem like paradise is still intact.
Look, we're pro marriage around here. Like, if you found somebody, if you got somebody that got you, make sure you keep them. Now here's what we did pitch, just going back and forth in text messages, and we're like, Charlotte would not be a terrible mouthpiece for Andrade while she's on the mend. I would assume travel would be uncomfortable, so maybe that would be the hindrance. But that's just, that's negotiating prices on a charter bus.
Simple.
You know what I'm saying? And at this point,
people have done more.
You know what I'm saying? More has been done for less. So, I mean, we affectionately refer to Charlotte as Chick Flair around here. I think she has enough cachet to get a charter bus. And of course, it's tax deductible because we're all about financial responsibility around here.
Even if the old man ain't around, I'm sure the Unc.
Somebody got it.
Unc is essentially surrogate father to her father, who's best friend. So
I mean, she got it. Let's not discount her bag. She keep it a thou out. Her bag is. We know she got it. And then Andrade got money from AAA. He got money from Jacksonville that he probably ain't spent yet. So I mean,
he might have got a thank you check.
we having it. We having it our way. We having it.
It's crazy, man.
What's that?
I know you haven't done this.
Uh-oh.
You have got to go back and watch that Continental Classic tournament because Andrade put on the best work of his career in that tournament.
You know what made me think about the Continental Classic? Because, okay, we had this conversation about this may be the best stateside tournament in professional wrestling. Didn't you say history?
In professional wrestling history that was televised.
And it made me think about, because I saw a clip from another tournament that I forgot about, but was really, really good. The Cruiserweight Classic.
The first one?
Yes. The only one that mattered. The one that had Kota Ibushi when he was still healthy.
Truth be told,
Cedric Alexander with like a burst fade on the side.
Cedric Alexander lost 30 pounds to hop in that tournament.
And you couldn't tell. He looked like Apollo Crews with a faux hawk.
TJ Perkins.
TJP acted up.
Was it
commentary by Daniel Bryan at the time?
Zack Sabre was in that tournament.
Factual. It was quite a few like heavy hitters. There was some
names. Lince Dorado was in that.
Lince Dorado designed Bailey's ring gear. Actually, I think.
Nice.
Well, according to her. So yeah.
Yeah. That's. Okay.
But you see what I mean about that whole prisoner of the moment thing, like that. That all it takes is a couple Googles.
Well, keep this in mind too, Suave. That was you had that as a predecessor to 205 Live.
Right.
That show was supposed to be built around Bryan Danielson and the greatest man ever lived, Austin Aries. That's when he was there. And this is also around the same time that the Black and Gold was putting on must-see PLEs.
This is the tournament that begot DIY.
Everything about NXT at that time was can't miss. We were watching 205 Live until we couldn't watch it anymore.
The only reason 205 Live became what it became as far as flopping or dud is because you took it out of the compartmentalized environment that was Full Sail. Had you left it in Full Sail the same way that NXT was in Full Sail, that cruiserweight show would still be on.
That's only part of it. The other piece of it is this: Neville, when he was about to lose to, or did he lose to Enzo? Yeah.
Yeah, we were already at that point. They were doing 205 Live like after Raw type stuff, or they would film it before Raw, after Raw, before SmackDown.
It was essentially Rampage by the time we stopped. It checked out.
It's overload. It's overkill. I know people like to get more for their money, but not on what is essentially a school night.
But the NXT shows work like clockwork, 2 hours, unless you were filming 2 or 3 weeks in advance. But all you had to do was just go live every week, 2 hours, and then have the pre-show or post-show be 205 Live. It's really that simple.
But when you get those concentrated crowds, like the crowds that were coming to Full Sail for NXT, those particular crowds they're attached to the product in a different way. So their fandom is a lot more exaggerated. Like, that's the crowd where if you get 2,500 of those people and it's staged correctly, 2,500 gonna hit like 10,000.
Here's the bigger indictment. As much as I can appreciate you making me remember that tournament, the fact that I had to be polled to remember that tournament because of how bad NXT has become compared to where it was. I'm not trying to be the guy to sit on the front porch and tell kids get off my lawn and tell you how things used to be when I used to walk uphill in the snow both ways 20 miles. I'm not going to tell you about that. But we know that the Skittle is not the Black and Gold.
I mean, that goes without saying.
Period.
Whether you mean it in a complimentary way or in a derogatory way, or not even derogatory, just in a I prefer this to that type situation.
Like,
they're not the same.
They're touting Tiffany Stratton as she's recently been moved up. They're touting who was that, the prodigy, Roxanne Perez, Booker T's student,
right?
And they're Roxanne Perez I rocks with because Texas, but like Tiffany Stratton, like, you know, you're out of the same box.
Well, okay, because I've experienced this and I've figured out what it is. So once upon a time in my life, I was very much in a almost new artist, new talent discovery mode as far as the music I would listen to and where I would get it from. So during that time period, there was almost a desire to seek out who was going to be next. That's what NXT is for.
Literally, it's the letters.
In my ripe old age of pro wrestling watching, and with it being so much pro wrestling to choose from, I don't have the time or the desire to sit by and watch a product grow into what it should be. I'm not even being funny when I say that. I'm dead serious.
No.
Perfect example is this. Trick Williams. The first time I saw Trick Williams, like, this ain't it. Just with the lingo, I had a problem with calling the man Trick because I'm from an era.
Come on, man.
I'm from an era where that particular name does not have a glowing stamp of approval on it. It's a description for a completely different type of individual.
The fact that they put a comma on "whoop that trick,"
I hadn't even gotten into that. That's something that like you gotta. That's why you need certain people in the room because creative services obviously dropped the ball with that. And somebody needs to talk to Juicy J and DJ Paul before you just go out here saying.
Come on, wait. let me do this right.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like y'all don't have a working relationship with 3-6 Mafia anyway. Shout out to the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, pencil pusher extraordinaire.
Absolutely.
So we can get another song produced. No, I tell you what, we ain't got to produce nothing new. How about we get Terrence Howard some more royalty money and sync this record up? Sync up the one from Hustle and Flow.
All he had to do is re-record it. Get Universal hands off of it.
That's it. That's it. That's all. I'm certain that every party involved would be okay with it. But the first time I saw Trick Williams, it was an unpolished diamond. Let's just say, let's put it that way. Unpolished diamond. And I'm not here for the process anymore like I used to be. I need to be able to see like, hey, have you assembled the pizza yet? Is it in the oven or is this just a concept in your mind of what this pizza is going to look like?
How long ago was this first time you saw Trick Williams? When you made this assessment?
Like debut.
Okay. How do you now?
I see it. I see what it can be. I still haven't watched a whole lot of him individually, but he's grown, and it comes with television time. It comes with repetition. Like, okay, the way I said I used to seek out new talent, music wise, especially from DJing in certain establishments. Then you get to a point where you hear a new artist that's supposedly buzzing or popping, and you like, I don't get it. That ain't ready. Then 2 years later, you start to hear the improvement because repetition. And now it's like
literally happened to me today, and wasn't even trying to hear it.
Lil Baby is a perfect example for me. In the beginning,
it was a joke.
I don't call nobody a joke unless they've given me reason to call them a joke.
I just say wham, and then putting your name in, like I'm a little dog joke. Hardy, har, my guy.
Well, joke. Now, boy, jamming. Call it what it is. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea as far as what hip hop is to you or what you prefer. I mean not you, but just in general, you. But he's definitely improved exponentially, and you can see the growth. And once you are able to see that there's time and effort put into the craft or time and effort put into outsourcing the people that are helping to put together these projects, you're like, okay, I see it now. I'm cool.
However, seeing it and believing that they are it, two different things. He's not there yet. He'll get there, I would hope. But the biggest issue that he has that I have with him, rather, is delivery, cadence, the ability to captivate based on how you can control the microphone.
All that comes with reps. Like you gotta play against better players. You gotta play against better talent. Repetition breeds familiarity.
He has the words. He can put them together. It's the delivery. Like
same.
Just because you're on a baseball field on the mound and you have the ball and you're holding it on the seams and you can throw it 45 feet at 60 miles an hour does not mean you're going to throw it in a straight line. Doesn't mean you're going to make it dip when it gets to the batter. Doesn't mean you won't hit the umpire, because you definitely have the opportunity to do that. And also doesn't mean that you even get close to anybody that's directly in front of you. You might throw that thing to the left or to the right because that's how you're built.
Like every celebrity who throws out the first pitch.
Exactly.
Have you seen? This is a question that I know the answer. You've seen Straight Outta Compton, right?
Yes.
How many times did Eazy have to record that song before it was what it came out to be.
On the show or on the movie or in real life?
Just on the movie, because I know it was probably ×5 in real life.
I'm about to say, because I heard the story before I saw the movie, and I'm sure there can't be enough. If how many lines are in that song? We'll call it 48. That song was probably recorded, knowing Dr. Dre and the way that he is after things that we've heard over the years, and the fact that we're using tape and not computers. That song was probably recorded 200 times.
Now you gotta be
put it together in one fell swoop the right way. But I'm sure before he passed away, he was able to spit that the same way he heard it played back from the way it was constructed on that tape.
You gotta be a real audiophile to sit in that studio session and listen to 199 takes of getting it wrong. I'm dead serious. Once upon a time, I was that guy who would sit in the studio session and listen to all 199 takes of getting it wrong and contributing my thoughts just to feel the joy that comes from number 200.
I hate the very first song of any project. You know why?
Why is that?
Because I listen to it the most.
And that's why I record in batches.
It's a thermometer. It's a thermometer and a barometer for the rest of the project. It's the bar. You're going to hear it more times because you want to see like if it's sonically appealing, if there's anything that's off per se, and then you come with the next record and then you listen to that one, but you go back to the first one to see how good it is compared to the new one.
This is why I anytime I go into a project to record, I'm never going in and just recording one song at a time. For that reason.
To me, for that reason, like to me, it doesn't even matter. It's always the first one. I don't care which. If I'm involved in the recording process, that first one I hate it. I can tell you any project I've ever worked on, like in the middle, like as far as like we say, if I told you right now, Mr. Big was going on our project as the first record, I've heard that song hundreds of times by this point.
I'd tell you no.
No, I'm just hypothetically. I'm
just saying, for like how you say you hate that song, you would hate it because it's the first. I'd tell you no for that same reason.
Okay, great.
I'd be like, nah.
I need to hear 3 records from you.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Like we are on the same
planting seeds here.
Like similar thought patterns, just we get to that point different ways. But yeah, that's essentially where I am with NXT and why I fell out of love with it.
It's still not worth loving. You can like it a lot, but you ain't gonna love it.
It's not polished underground like Black and Gold was. Black and Gold is just polished underground music. This is game show. This is like making the band.
There's a song that Prodigy said, rest in peace, Prodigy. He said, Don't confuse our mixtapes for what did he say? Don't confuse our mixtapes for our regular ish. Those are scraps, basically our throwaway ish. When at the time that he said that, the mixtapes were way better than the albums. It was capped for the label. It was like tongue in cheek. But that's the truth about Black and Gold. You can go back and catch some of the best wrestling. And Swab, you just proved the point of what I'm just saying. By bringing me back off of something that just happened relatively recently because of things, a number of parts in this moving machine helped me formulate an opinion that could be argued down based on what you said. And I brought it back to tell people that some of the best in history goes in the same era as the tournament that you said could possibly be better than the one I was touting.
And
research.
This is why I am a proponent of telling people not to be prisoners of the moment.
But I promise you, I wasn't, because you haven't seen it. But I'm telling you about Andrade though. Like, and one match in particular is him versus Brody King. Yeah. Woof. I can tell you, woof. Back on the Royal Rumble though.
Mm-hmm.
Outside of Andrade, we got that whole boy. We reeled that back, didn't we?
Mm-hmm. We
What
don't lose. We don't lose
we don't lose
focus.
focus. I was actually impressed with that one. What
See?
did outside of Andrade, what else did we get any more surprises?
I don't
Mello came in. I wouldn't necessarily call that a surprise because he's on
at all.
SmackDown.
Braun, we knew enough about the situation that had taken place with the other shoe dropping as far as Vince McMahon was concerned. So we knew that someone wasn't going to be there that was previously scheduled to be there.
But
And they had to have a replacement. And we felt like the replacement was Braun Breaker. And
actually,
Braun Breaker,
I don't think I don't think he was the replacement.
I
But
do.
he was man, was he fun.
I 100% think he was the replacement.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell you who I think was a replacement and why I think they were the replacement.
Okay, I'm listening.
Pat McAfee.
Nah.
Pat McAfee went on the record and said that he did not know he was in the Royal Rumble till his music played. I know you don't believe it.
I mean, whether I believe it or not, my answer is still MF Doom. Nay. Nay. And I'll tell you why. The person that Braun Breaker replaced was scheduled to have a program with one member of the Judgment Day, and potentially there was always this conversation that that person would have a standing engagement with Walter.
Yes.
Braun Breaker kind of dipped his toe in both of those pools, especially the Judgment Day pool.
The Judgment Day pool for sure.
So if we all of a sudden see Braun Breaker with wrestling a program with Dominic, just know Tom and Nick, both of them. Once you see that, it'll tell me everything I need to know. I think Pat McAfee, that might have been like a cool 22 fake out. Something to do, you know, I guess because this is a more, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a more active ecosystem in WWE now. And things are gonna start happening a little bit more like they do in real sports and happening a little more, maybe a little of the black and gold NXT influence. You're gonna get some stuff like this sometimes. Like you're gonna roll the dice. You're gonna try something on the fly in public. I don't think he was the replacement though at all.
Let's talk about this before we get into the finish of the Rumble. Or two things: R-Truth, salt of the earth,
national treasure,
God's favorite child.
Protect him at all costs.
That's it. He entered both Royal Rumbles at the same position. And so essentially he spoiled his position for the men's Royal Rumble for where he showed up at the women's Royal Rumble.
I think just, you know, R-Truth is like cowbell. We just always need more.
We need more.
What I'm sad about is we didn't get any more stunts from Kofi. It seems like we've run out of things for him to do, and he's never won a Royal Rumble. And I understand at this point we're probably too far gone to ever get that.
And next year he actually will break the record for most Royal Rumble appearances. And depending on when he retires and when the Miz retires, that would depend. That would be debatable on who would actually end up with that record.
But do we need to keep trotting him out there knowing he doesn't have an opportunity to win?
I say hell no, because that's an easy way to end up losing, like or getting hurt. Like remember we saw whoever that was.
I don't necessarily have the reservation that he might get hurt. It's more just the fact that, like, okay, I don't want to see Kofi reduced to filler. If the Royal Rumble was a 30-track album, I really don't want a whole lot of album fillers. And at this point, if you're not doing anything major with Kofi, and you're not gonna have the stunt, which is the equivalent of a great skit on an album, don't just put out a filler just to say you did a record like this.
We got to go and take a look at some of the, if not all of the Royal Rumble, just the cards. We don't need to go back and watch them because I mean we're talking like we're literally 37 hours of programming and change if we do that. But we need to take a look at the deck, the card, and see where it went off the rails that the entrance to the Royal Rumble did not have a potential to win it. Because I'm sure in 1988, when this thing first started, I don't think anybody predicted Hacksaw Jim Duggan to be a winner of a Royal Rumble, especially considering Mid-South was one of the better territories when it came to doing battle royals. And I don't think he ever won one there because there was always people like One Man Gang and Kamala.
88 was a litmus test.
Absolutely. Right. It was going against the Super Bowl. It was on USA for free.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a concept. So in the event that it's a concept, number one, the champ wasn't in it.
Man, ever.
There were no stakes on this. It was just a battle royal with a different entry concept. So that's probably the outlier. Once they figured out the formula worked, you get 89, which is in Houston, actually. It's at the Summit. And you get, I want to say, didn't Big John Studd win that one?
Number 2, I believe he did, which that was the first actual pay-per-view Royal Rumble, correct?
Exactly. So that's litmus test number 2. 1, the concept works. 2, the concept will play in a pay-per-view format in an attempt to make money. And what happened after that? At 90 and 91, guess who in it and guess who won it? The champ. The champ is in it in 90, wins it. 91, wins it. 92, someone became champ for winning it.
And not just someone, the someone at the time.
With a tear in my eye. This is the greatest day of my life. That man said that on camera, and I believe he had children at that point.
He had a few. I think he had 2. No, I think he had 2 or 3 at that point. 2 for sure.
1 for certain. 2 maybe. He might have had 1 and 1 on the way. Who knows?
How? Stop it. How old is Conrad? Stop it.
That's not his child, bro. What are you doing?
Conrad is married to Flair's daughter.
Well, okay, he's got kids because Starrcade 93, he's got children when they leave the house.
Come on, man.
Look, I'm not trying to count that man's tax deductibles. Chill. Everybody relax. But okay, 92, we at the pinnacle. Starting 93, we giving out WrestleMania main events to the winner.
Every time.
And it ain't changed since.
Every time.
So
the announced teams for Raw and SmackDown changed with the return of Pat McAfee, which we're still not done with the Rumble yet because we got to come in. We got to bring you home. So on Mondays we got Pat McAfee, Michael Cole. Fridays we have Corey Graves and Wade Barrett. That's going to be very interesting to see how Corey Graves runs the ship and lets Wade Barrett play the color guy.
That is interesting.
I don't think I've ever seen Corey Graves actually man the ship.
I think he has full capability to do so.
I think he does too. I mean, he's very well learned. It's a pusher too.
Facts. I want to see what their chemistry is like and how they are able to play off each other, because him and Byron Saxton have a different chemistry that's more 90,
Gorilla and Heenan.
kinda, but gorillas stand on business sometimes, and Byron has sort of a very
So
non-threatening perspective to himself.
if Gorilla Monsoon were a heel on the mic, it would be Corey Graves. And I can't, for the knowledge, I haven't heard enough Byron Saxton to know if he could hold up over the test of time. It's almost like the Heenan and Gorilla in reverse.
I don't dislike Byron Saxton's commentary style. It's just very
Vanilla.
white meat baby face.
Vanilla.
So
plain.
I mean, now he done fired up a couple times, and it was funny when he did it. But I mean, we'll just wait and see. Everybody is where they should be. I know Mondays is gonna be hilarious.
Yeah,
because it was hilarious this week.
Yeah, Pat McAfee was in his bag, and he's slowly running out of F's to give.
Michael Cole is in his bag, where it's like
Michael Cole don't have nobody in his ear anymore. Every time someone removes the microphone to get Michael Cole's ear, you know Michael Cole gets loose, and he's a fan of his work. Actually, he's not a fan of his work. He's a fan of the work that he's looking at, and you can hear it.
I'm very much appreciative of this new regime and this new outlook from Stanford.
Yeah. Royal Rumble finish. For some reason, I never expected to see King Kong Cody in back-to-back years.
Didn't expect that. Also, like getting to the Final Four, that's not the Final Four I've even remotely picked. And then there's also the point that there were a few people who I thought would be in the Rumble that weren't.
Such as?
LA Knight.
That's another thing that's missing. People pulling double duty.
I just think you're so front loaded on main event level talent that you didn't necessarily have to have people work double duty.
But it takes away from the mystique of how important the Rumble is. To me.
I get it, but I get it. It's also one of those things where does it undersell the importance of the match that person had earlier in the night? I gave my all. I gave 110% in an attempt to win the championship earlier in the night. What is that person supposed to have left to work double duty? Like at some point the suspension of disbelief evaporates at that point. If you come out there and just you come out there and play the hits after you went through a championship match.
Right.
So time and place. I mean,
unless you pull an edge and just screw up 30, it beat them before they get to the ring and you take the spot and then make the last elimination. I don't think we've seen that in the Rumble, have we? Where someone stole somebody's spot?
Was that 19 they tried that?
With whom?
No, it's Nia Jax beat up R-Truth and took his spot. But Randy
in the women's Rumble, yeah. But I mean,
in the men's Rumble,
yeah, the men's Rumble. But I'm talking about as far as actually doing it as like retro.
No, I know what you're pitching though.
Yeah,
like when Edge smashed Kofi's head into some stairs.
Didn't he do Kofi and Rey Mysterio?
I mean,
I want to say he did that twice.
It's very much possible. I mean, you save it for the right time. Yeah, it makes total sense.
Okay. Winner Royal Rumble, Cody Rhodes. The biggest story coming out of that, though, not being Cody, is CM Punk tears his triceps in the match.
Unfortunate accident. What I have a problem with is the contingent of people out in social media land who called themselves celebrating a man's injury because you were picking sides in a fight that you weren't in.
This is business that I'm standing on. Continue.
Just, I mean, there's not a lot of extra to put on it. It's like that's sucker behavior. That is the lowest of the low. We're not campaigning for anybody to come up injured. That's not how we
That's
do
not how
business
this is
around
built.
here.
Yeah, that's not how this is
That's
built.
not standing on business. So to in some backhanded way try to celebrate that because you want to see him humbled because he didn't play fair or play nice with somebody else that you like, that's corny.
I'll tell you what's cornier than that.
What's cornier than that?
Shouts out to Drew McIntyre for becoming a microphone savage.
I say all of that, and then we end up with Drew McIntyre. But Drew McIntyre is getting paid to do that.
I'm coming back to your car. I had to step out to use the restroom, but I'm coming back to your car right now. Drew McIntyre stated that he prayed for CM Punk to get injured. Quote, I prayed for this. Savagery. However, I don't need you, pencil pusher, non-pencil pusher, fan, casual fan. You know how we feel about the casual fan. Don't need you championing the words of someone who is in a combat sport that is designed to entertain you. I don't need you to be the poster child or the banner waver, the flag waver for a degenerate who at the end of it all is not even that. I found more hilarity in Drew McIntyre praying for an atheist than I do disgust.
There are levels to that joke.
Than I do disgust for you for championing the words that Drew McIntyre said to CM Punk about his injury. Slap yourself.
Drew is being paid rather handsomely to deliver these words.
And it's very possible these may be the last words he speaks on WWE TV for a little bit.
I'm totally against. At this point, I am not willing to think they're going to let him walk out. His character, his story arc,
they shouldn't.
They giving him creative. Do you know what now? Obviously, this is a new regime, but in past times, when people are finishing up or they haven't come to terms on a new deal, either you go to catering or you go to sleep weekly for 3 seconds.
We saw that for almost a year with the same person about 12 years ago.
So the fact that you are being given main event material to work with, you are one of the most compelling characters on the roster. You are one of the reasons that the roster is so front loaded with main event talent. You're gonna leave that right now when the whole scope of the building is changing. So we're not dealing with old regime as far as who gets picked to do this and who gets pushed into this. It's like it's a different coach. There's a different head coach in town. So whatever was going on before that is not what's going on now. And you have this new creative to work with. It's so good that I have personally dubbed it Drew McIntyre's Nasty Work World Tour. Because he is out here doing some nasty work.
He's doing some really gross work.
That man came out there and gave a heartfelt setup to the punchline and then said, I want you to know, I prayed for this. I prayed that this would happen to you. Then went to social media and posted a pic
meme games
of his head on another person's body who was crouched down, jail photo style, chunking the deuce over someone's grave.
There was another one of Punk talking about tearing his triceps, and Michael Jordan with a laptop looking at Scottie Pippen let his head.
Someone, you didn't come up with this on your own. That's not even your culture, so to speak. So I know. No. Here's what I'm saying: the act of trolling on social media, not Michael Jordan himself.
No. We're on the same page.
So that's not of your culture. Had it been, you'd have pitched it and probably tried it already. Someone has taken the initiative to make sure you have quality material. You are figured in, as the old timers would say. I think if you were to bail now, monetarily, you'd probably benefit from it in the short term. Long-term play,
he could set himself up to be very comfortable for the rest of his days.
Because at this point, you're looking at one big payday and probably one humongous show that you would be a part of. Then what?
And you know who's helping him be more prone to a bigger bag thanks to their chicanery?
Who that?
Oh boy. I wasn't going to do this today, but I have to.
Oh hell.
Yep. Normally I even play it with music playing, but this time you got to get the full effect. Because I just saw the whites of your eyes, Undertaker. Suave, when I tell you this one, it's going to stick.
No, it ain't.
He is no longer Kung Fu Panda.
The lies you tell.
Oh, but just you wait. Kung Fu Boo Panda.
Pencil pushers, like, rate, subscribe, tell a friend, tell that friend again, tell that friend to tell a friend.
We're not done.
I'm done. So you're gonna add culture appropriation to the Kung Fu Panda. Nah, I'm good. I'm out.
I didn't do it.
You're perpetuating it.
Maybe.
I'm out. I ain't here for this.
I hate to do. I'm sorry to do some Black History Month. The reason,
you see what I'm saying? This is how you. This is what you do to Black History Month.
I'm disgusted at myself.
I'm disgusted.
Understand?
Nah, I don't want to.
Understand? During Monday Night Raw, Cody was making or about to make a statement regarding his choice that he obviously picked at the Royal Rumble by pointing to him.
He said in the press conference, "This is a done deal."
But you got Seth Pander.
Nope.
Who comes out?
Arn Panderson.
Pander Mahal. He comes out and explains why the second-rate participation trophy championship that we have deemed, and we did not want to call it that, but that's what it became. It was slowly turning away from that with the advent of who may be taking it over. Here we are, Suave, listening to why Cody should beat someone or challenge someone he had beat 3 times already previous to now, since returning to WWE. 1 time in a cage with a torn pectoral muscle, mind you, and had the nerve to say, not only is this title, and I quote, for us, by us, hence my calling him Kung Fu Panda.
I know where you got it from.
This is for the pencil pushers. But then he turns around and says, that's not even the title that your daddy won. It's this one. The World Heavyweight Championship. Why would you want that one, the Hollywood title?
Yeah, that's cute or whatever, but
Because the Hollywood title was the one that was printing money forever. The reason why there's bags in this business is because of the Hollywood title. Are you crazy?
The reason the pacifier title exists is because you couldn't get the other one. I'm not finna nitpick and play games with nobody about this nonsense. You don't get a participation ribbon for coming to work. And we've said this on numerous occasions. You want to be the workhorse champion, then wrestle Walter for the Intercontinental title. Elevate a secondary title and let me know that you're in a position to where you're ready to challenge for the Universal WWE Championship. At the end of the day, who are they sending on these press runs when they're going to the major outlets? Who's doing Jimmy Kimmel? Who's doing Jimmy Fallon? Pause. Who's going and showing up to the Breakfast Club when they need the champ to come through?
I can tell you who it's not.
I know exactly who it's not.
It's not the World Heavyweight Champion.
They send you because you wore those big red boots like Dora the Explorer.
Without the belt, mind you.
And then wore the yellow ones that had the holes in them. See, there's levels to this. And the level that you would like to be viewed on,
you
don't have the access card for it. You don't have this. You don't. And in every situation where you have been propped up to be that guy, it either falls flat or you fall under the pressure. Look, if you can't make your championship hot without referencing the other one, then yours doesn't mean anything. Number one never talks about number two.
The next time, WCW made years talking about WWE. WWE didn't talk about WCW until WWE started falling. Man,
you wasting time. Like it's a cute side mission that Cody's gonna think about it, but there's nothing to think about.
I really hope the side mission, or attempting to start the side mission, trying to find the safe house where it begins, is how he loses his title to Damian Priest before WrestleMania. I really hope that.
That's who we need to be green lighting. Like, nah, no, absolutely not.
And please give Damian Priest that cash in while he has his tag team title. We need that.
I have the idea that you do realize we're living in a multiverse time warp when it comes to WWE product. If you haven't noticed at this point, the Judgment Day is in a very loose fashion reliving the 2023, really the 2022 of the Bloodline, with R-Truth playing the part of Sami Zayn. The whole Awesome Truth reunion is essentially Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So I'm under the impression that before too long, you'll have to part with R-Truth for a little while because Ron Killings will be back on set. When you get serious Ron Killings with babyface Miz, chances are it's going to be entertaining. I dare say more entertaining than Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were as tag champions. He probably won't have those titles when he cashes in. I say all that to say this. He probably won't. And what? If I'm Cody, why? Just why? I get it that Seth is essentially, Okay, it makes Seth look like a master manipulator, to be honest. It's like he's trying to guarantee that he's going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. That's all about one-upping Roman, which is why I said back when they had their match at Royal Rumble that should have been the WrestleMania main event that year.
Seth can't win. Seth doesn't win here. Let me tell you something. If Cody tells Seth no, how meaningless is that title?
It's exactly what we said it is.
What we said it was. If he says, Seth, I'll fight you, but I'm doing it non-title so I can tell you I can beat your ass for a fourth time, and you still have something to go. He doesn't win.
I don't need to see another Seth Rollins Cody Rhodes match for quite some time.
There is no world where this ends well for Seth Rollins.
I mean, that's cool and all. It's just this is already too much time dedicated to that guy.
All right, shout outs real quick. AV, New Pencil Pusher, my man. Salute.
What up, though?
Appreciate you. DJ Al Compton.
What up,
well soon. My man came down with a nasty flu.
That's been going around, man. Y'all protect yourselves, man.
Nah, bro. This one is like GoFundMe bad.
Nah, I've been hearing about it. Like, I've been hearing people that are like completely out of commission behind a version of the flu or some form of sickness like that. I'm just saying, hey, everybody, protect yourself in an attempt to protect each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, that can't be overstated enough. Get well soon, Al Compton. Last but certainly not least, heartfelt prayers and healthy recovery and well-being checks to wrestling legend and menace Marty Jannetty.
Oh, man.
This man was told that his leg with the injured ankle needed to be amputated after years of just damage.
No bueno.
And he was told this, if I believe the story is correct, the day after he heard his brother have his sister die in his brother's arms.
Bruh.
That's a lot for 1 week, and that was only in back-to-back days. Marty Jannetty, get well in all facets very soon. Suave, what else you got?
We've officially commenced our WrestleMania Rewind series.
Yes, forgot. Thank you.
So this week we watched, prior to the Royal Rumble and the week leading up to this show, we've had opportunities to go back and watch WrestleMania 37. Shout out to the gang members that are participating in this, watching with us. Matthew Ingram is doing it with us.
Yep.
Both members of the gang, they're doing this right along with us. We'll figure out how we're gonna do these recaps.
No, we're gonna do something right now. I'm gonna do a randomizer right now. So keep talking because I'll give you my recap here shortly.
I guess biggest takeaways from watching, ironically enough, the first face you see once night one starts is Vince McMahon. Take that for what you want to do. It's the first open air gathered WrestleMania post pandemic. Seeing Titus O'Neil and Hulk Hogan try to co-host is weird even now. Hearing
Hulk Hogan booed by his hometown crowd and Titus cheered, oh boy,
is hilarious and deserved. Samoa Joe is phenomenal on commentary.
Hidden gem.
As I've said before, phenomenal on commentary. What else? Logan Paul and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have been joined at the hip since 37.
Since
In one way or
37,
another.
and I mean it's only been 3 years, but that look at what's happened in those 3 years.
What else? Bobby Lashley is like that, but we already knew that.
The pre-show, the rain delay.
Oh yeah, the rain delay
had
was
as
real.
much fire as some of the matches that we saw.
Boy,
the level of realism in those backstage interviews. Shane McMahon being told basically to kick rocks by MVP.
Look, and it life hits different when you have to do it live.
Oh man.
So that's when the people with real talent start to separate themselves from everybody else. Who do you depend on in a crisis situation? Who has the emergency first aid kit? Who's able to put a patch on this tire so we can get where we're going?
Just because I've seen it recently, always bet on the beekeeper. The beekeeper knows how to keep the hive in check.
So, what else did I pick up from night one? I mean, the main event was really a main event.
The Fiend match went off the rails, and I don't know why it went off the rails, but when it did, it was obvious to tell. That match actually started off pretty damn good, and then just completely lost the train.
I just think the way it was planned, and because of reportedly what went on before that match, it was just like let's get it out here, let's get a finish, and let's get it over with, because now we're sour on the character.
And the fact that was our last WrestleMania with him.
And the crazy part is like it now, what Alexa Bliss did doesn't even look like a turn. Like none of it looks like a turn. It just looks like another section of a horror movie.
Yep.
It looks like a chapter.
Because the week after WrestleMania 37, that's when we got the Firefly Funhouse basically saved Bray Wyatt. Was essentially what it was. It was like Gemstone. Bray Gemstone is basically what he became for that last good Firefly Funhouse.
Uncle Baby Billy lives. The Jack in the Box was one of the best WrestleMania entrances. That might have been a top 5. Like him coming out of a gigantic Jack in the Box.
Yeah, that was dope, especially the colors. The first Druids was dope. The Who's the Real John Cena was dope.
Right. What's another really good one? WrestleMania 14, Undertaker Kane.
Triple H at 25, where he threw the hammer through the glass.
Okay, I'll let you get by with that one.
It was crazier because the people in person, all we saw was him throwing it through pipe.
New Day at 32 coming out of the gigantic box of cereal.
Yeah, especially in Dallas or Arlington.
All right, that was live. That was live and creative. We need a tournament.
Best entrances at Mania.
Greatest WrestleMania entrances.
Here we go doing dumb stuff.
Look, it's better than the tournament we had cooked up.
This is very true, because that we might do that for our own amusement, just our own therapy, and then give the people this one.
Facts.
Let me see. Bianca Sasha holds up.
It absolutely does. I hate the red light on Fiend matches. I can't.
We've always talked about, especially with that first one where he that referee stoppage in the Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, I'm like I understand what you were going for, but it just takes away from the in-ring action. It just does. It's distracting. What? Yeah, it's distracting. It's a distracting and annoying, both. Same.
Let's see here. Let me go through the card for both, because I actually, like, just like you, we watched both nights. That was actually a really good watch. Oh man, Roman Edge and Daniel Bryan. Oh my God, that match was so good. That was a good match. And then and how he stacked them before the pinfall. Both of them got pinned, so he really beat both of them.
Of course. Acknowledge me.
Rhea Ripley, the shock and awe of Rhea Ripley actually beating Asuka and just getting her first women's championship, that was pretty cool. The fact that she's actually gotten 2 women's championships at Mania is actually also cool.
At what point are we going to figure out who's Mrs. WrestleMania?
We're probably only about a year away from we can have, you and I can have that tournament right now. It may only be 8 people in it, but you and I can literally go back to 2018 and look at the new generation of women. If you really want to go back, I don't think the Divas era was a great depiction, but we actually know we can go back to 32. That's when it started. We can go back to 32.
I mean, I totally get what you're saying. I don't necessarily want to say that we're gonna ignore everything before 32. If there are women who are active getting to it before that, they're gonna be included. Like you got Mickie James and Trish Stratus at WrestleMania 23.
Yeah.
Like you have women's matches that have.
We can do one. We can figure that out. That's
we can get it done.
Yeah, put that on the list too.
What's going to eliminate a bunch of people is that you're going to need a certain number of WrestleManias to actually make the cut.
We may have to remove that criteria.
That's going to end up being 8.
Yo, how good was the AJ Omos versus New Day match? It was only like 10 minutes, right?
I said it when it happened because Omos had a auspicious debut. I was like, if you play this right, this is your next year's Royal Rumble winner. Of course, we know it didn't happen that way,
but
the potential was there.
The New Day playing heels, doing heel tag team work, cutting off the ring, and AJ getting a very, very hot tag, and they were the heels. You had the New Day play heels to heels who became faces, who still end up heels after the match, just to see what Omos could do. And I wasn't keen on Omos, but looking back at it, that match actually holds up for and that's another tournament too, or maybe even mixtape debuts, because he won a championship in his first match,
which a lot of people can't say.
Big Show did it. I mean, but
look at him.
Yeah, Ronda Rousey did it. Look at her.
Like, yeah, that's rarefied air reserved for upper level.
Yeah. Overall grade, I give it an 8 because there's some matches. I give it. I'm talking about the whole show. There's some matches I can do without.
Both nights combined, you're giving it an 8.
Yep.
That's a really high score to start with. Really high, because
Cesaro, Seth Rollins was amazing. I could have done without the women's tag team matches both nights. I could have done without those. I didn't care for Apollo Crews and Big E.
That was supposed to be so much better than what it was, and it has nothing to do with Big E or Apollo Crews. You had an opportunity to create something ridiculously mind-blowing with that match. One person in charge had to just watch Black Panther. It was Challenge Day. That's all you had to do, was create WWE's version of Marvel Black Panther's Challenge Day, and you would have had a classic.
And you've got, just
on visuals alone,
you've got at least 3 Nigerians in WWE active right now, including Apollo Crews. And that match could still be held once a year, even if it's not at Mania. One of those special attraction matches for the end of feud. Challenge Day. Absolutely right. That's a ball dropped.
It's just, if you're gonna dip into someone's culture, do it correctly, or do it in a way that heightens said culture. Otherwise, just don't touch it. Because
Oh,
you could have brought out all these former African American champions. You had Ron Simmons, Butch Reed was still around at the time. Just all of
oh
these
man.
Tony Atlas. You could have brought back all of these historic fixtures who happen to be of the same ethnicity, and those are the people who are is essentially like you're watching the predecessors as you're engaging in challenge day
Let me knock it.
because it's a championship match too.
Let me knock it down just because of this explanation of this one match. I'm knocking it down to 7.5
See,
because
I was already at a 7. That might give me. I might have to do 6.5 now. Nah, nah, nah. Bianca and Sasha by itself, yeah,
you're
7,
yeah. I mean,
7.
the main events of both nights hold up well. They can
Yeah,
beat any main. Well, I can't say any. There's some main events that they can beat prior to that have stood up for some time, and Bad Bunny is another debut that's out of control. We did a destroyer. We hadn't seen a destroyer on WWE television. We've seen some code reds, but no destroyers on WWE
right.
television. And a celebrity was the one that got that off. Come on, man, on the
I
floor too.
mean, what's your finish, kid?
I'll move.
Exactly.
There was a few more additions added to the Dark Side season two that we didn't talk about last week because they came in after the fact.
What
Uh,
it is?
well, I'll pull them up here in a second. Let me while I'm pulling that up, I'm going to randomize this. I got 1 through 39, and I've taken 37 out of this equation.
Okay.
So let me hit enter.
And the winner is. That is a weird sound. Don't be no trash. Don't be no trash. What?
Number 9.
Ha! Ha! We going to Caesars.
That's going to be fun. I was really hoping that was going to be one of the ones we get to watch.
This is
We're
in my
watching.
wheelhouse too. I can quote you a whole bunch of this.
This is the
It's
return of Jim Ross.
it's the debut of Jim Ross.
Like the debut. That's right. The debut of Jim Ross.
Jim Ross, Bobby Heenan, and Macho Man Randy Savage on commentary.
Because that Shivani had just, it's funny because he came in and then he left to go back to WCW, and then Jim Ross comes over from WCW.
Yeah, there's like a 3-year span between because Tony Schiavone is still in WWF in 1990. So if you go back and watch that 1990 Royal Rumble we were talking about earlier, Schiavone's doing commentary.
Is he on commentary or is okay?
Now he's on commentary for 90, I believe.
Huh.
But Ross debuts, and this is 1993. You get the Steiners versus the Head Shrinkers. You get Giant Gonzalez, aka El Gigante, versus the Undertaker. Take it for what it's worth, because it is a part of the streak.
Right.
As a matter of fact, that's the third victim in the streak. You get Shawn Michaels versus Tatanka, and don't sleep on that. That's one of the better openers in WrestleMania history. You get Yokozuna versus Bret Hart, and then you get a bonus match of Good Try Terry versus Yokozuna. It doesn't last very long, but
20 seconds, bro.
It's a shocking ending to a WrestleMania. Stuff like that wasn't happening at the time. But yes, go enjoy it. Hit us up on all the socials. Let us know what you think about it. We're gonna come back and break it down. Roll through it, grade it.
Here's something I didn't know that happened at that at that WrestleMania.
The story about the black eye.
Nah, there's a dark match.
Oh, speak on it.
Tito Santana takes on a hometown guy, Papa Shango.
What?
This man got his WrestleMania debut in Vegas? Are you kidding me?
That man stay winning. Stay winning. I don't know why I feel like somebody got cut from WrestleMania 9 because, like, on the Coliseum home video version, You get all the way to the end, and then there's like a disclaimer screen that says, I guess, due to circumstances beyond their control, such and such match didn't make the card. Basically, you got cut for time. But they actually used to
maybe
put
on
those.
the video.
What's that again?
Maybe on the video. I don't know if it actually happened in person.
No. I'm not saying the Tito Santana match was cut. There's another match.
No, that's what I'm saying. Maybe on the video. So you had Tatanka versus Shawn Michaels, Steiners versus Head Shrinkers, Doink versus Crush, Razor Ramon versus Bob Backlund, Money Inc. versus the Mega Maniacs, Luger versus Perfect.
Yes.
Taker versus Giant Gonzalez, and then the two Yoko matches.
Indeed.
Man, there was a whole lot of gang activity on there, man. You had Samu, Fatu, and Yoko on the same card, and then you had Papa Shango open things up. He was probably back there setting up all the drinks.
The Bloodline been propping up WWE for the last, 30 years?
Wrestling, period. Wrestling.
Get that. That man was the WWF champion, propping up the business.
Man. Let's see, Dark Side of the Ring Season 5. We told you about a few of these. Let me run them all down for you. Chris Adams, Sensational Sherry, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, Black Saturday, Chris Colt, Sandman, Earthquake, Harley Race, Buff Bagwell, Brutus Beefcake.
I know who Season 6 gonna be.
Who?
Old Man River.
The whole season.
The whole season is on him. It's on me, baby. Whole season.
Oh, man.
Start to finish.
Yo.
I really want them to make like a shout out to FX. You saw the trial of OJ Simpson?
Yep.
Where Cuba Gooding Jr. is playing OJ and John Travolta's playing the name escapes me.
Kardashian.
Yes.
Yeah, Rob Kardashian.
Yes. I need that level of effort put into a Vince McMahon miniseries. We should do the casting next week.
That gives us time. I'm trying to think who's going to play the dopest Vince.
Bradley Cooper. That is a good question.
Tryouts would be you get mad and say, damn it. Or better yet, come here.
No, sir. Under no circumstances will you perform Sweat of My Balls tonight.
If you stand on business, you know what follows. Come here. Suave, take him to the house.
Pencil pushers, like, rate, subscribe, share, tell a friend, tell that friend to tell a friend, and then tell that friend again. Heads up, pencils down.
I will never say down there again.